Hey everybody, this is Stephanie Jones. I decided to do my integrated curriculum project on the book The Bad Seed, written by Jory John and illustrated by Pete Oswald. I teach first grade and we will be doing this book on the second week of school or maybe the third week of school. So I decided to go ahead and create this plan for something I could do in my own classroom. The book summary. This is the story of a bad seed. All of the other seeds think he is a bad seed. He is always late, he cuts in line, and he never puts things back where they belong. He just can't help it. It hasn't always been this way. He was born a humble seed with a big, happy family on a sunflower. One day, the sunflower drooped and he fell off the seed. All he can remember is a bag and a giant who spit him out. That is when things changed, and he became a bad seed. He was alone, and he had no friends. Then he makes a big decision that he wants to be happy again. Although he still makes some bad choices, he begins to make many good choices. He keeps trying and begins to think he is not such a bad seed after all. Some of the benefits of having an integrated curriculum is that it provides connections among the disciplines. It also gives relevant life lessons that engage the students in active learning, and it provides a deeper understanding of the content, as well as accommodating all the learning styles and intelligences. It also makes school more fun, more interesting, and productive for both teachers and students. And it fosters a way of learning that mimics real life. This is an integrated curriculum web that I created to kind of show how I will be using the bad seed across all of the disciplines. With reading, we're going to focus on character and character traits with math. Since we're going to be learning about addition and story problems within 10, we're going to do addition with sunflower seeds. With grammar and writing, we're going to use the bad seed as like mentor text, and we're going to be writing about good and bad choices in social studies. And then in science, we will be learning about sunflowers. We'll actually plant some sunflower seeds. In social studies, it really does well with citizenship and making good and bad choices. And it also talks about self-acceptance and, accepting others as well. And then in art, we'll be doing a directed drawing of the bad seed and some other plant songs. So for the ELA lesson plan, I pulled up some of the first grade reading standards, of course, making predictions from text clues and describing characters, setting, and major events, while focusing on key details, using illustrations, details in the story to describe the character, setting, and events. They will also be writing a sentence with the focus on capitalization. The materials needed is the book, having a character anchor chart, and the reader's response journal. I have included some questions that you can ask the students if they know what a sunflower seed is, where does it come from, and also working on predictions. Whenever reading the story for the teacher-directed activity, asking lots of questions about character, using the anchor chart, discuss what character is, who, can be a character in a story, and then also character traits and asking these questions. For the student-independent activity, they'll be writing in their reader response journal, I can be a good seed by blank. Focusing on writing sentences and beginning every sentence with a capital letter and, of course, a period. And coming up with, the different ways that the bad seed turned into a good seed. And, of course, for closure, having them share their writing with each other and discussing why it's good to make good choices instead of bad choices. So it kind of ties in social studies. For the science lesson plan, the focus is on parents and their offspring. Of course, the parent being the sunflower, the offspring being the seed. I included a couple of nonfiction books, one of them being From Seed to Sunflower, and another one, A Sunflower's Life Cycle, a KWL chart, and your science journal, and all the materials needed to plant a sunflower. And then the introduction activity, starting with a little brain break, a little sunflower song and dance, and then giving every child a sunflower using their 5 senses with the sunflower seed and making a list of words to describe the seed can get the lesson started, kind of hook the kids. Start the KWL chart about sunflowers, and then read the book From Seed to Sunflower. Also asking questions. When talking about the bad seed, that was a fiction story, but then From Seed to Sunflower being a nonfiction, and the kids being able to explain the difference between the 2 books, being fiction and nonfiction. Continuing the science lesson, after reading the book, having the students understand that during their independent time, they will be either working in their science journal or they will be planting a sunflower seed. And then also with technology, watching videos about how to harvest a sunflower. How do you harvest sunflowers and where do they get sunflowers from? So there's a couple of videos included from YouTube that are great for students to be able to watch that process going from the sunflower to the seed, because I know sometimes they have a hard time knowing that the seeds are inside of the sunflower. They will also plant a sunflower in the planting stations, and that'll be a fun way for them to watch their sunflower grow. We kind of have an activity of planting it outside in our little bed outside the classroom, and I'm hoping that will work before it gets too cold. And then for closure and assessment, reading the other story, A Sunflower's Life Cycle, and then the students complete the labeling of the life cycle with the terminology, the vocabulary for the lesson. And then the math lesson includes counting and adding and subtracting with sunflower seeds with 10 frames. So starting the lesson, the introduction activity, I thought about having the students having large cutouts of sunflower seeds, because sunflower seeds are so small. So having about 10 large sunflower seed cutouts and calling the students up to act out addition and subtraction equations. For example, have 2 children come up to the front and hold 2 big sunflower seeds, and then have 3 more students come up and hold sunflower seeds, and then ask how many sunflower seeds in all. And that's a great way just to get the kids moving and up and counting with sunflower seeds. Continuing the lesson, for the teacher-directed activity, give each child a 10 frame and 10 sunflower seeds, and the teacher can call out addition and subtraction sentences, facts, and let the kids manipulate the seeds to add or subtract to see how many they have left or how many in all. And then after completing that, they can work on the independent activity at their table. Give each table one of these activities. This is a free download that I found at this website, and they can go to each flower and find the addition and subtraction facts that match the number on the flower. And then for closure, for their math journal and assessment, you can have the students come up with their own addition or subtraction story problem and write it in their journal, and they can illustrate by drawing the sunflower seeds to show how they would solve the problem. So here are my references and the websites included that I used. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson.